welcome to the Watering Hole. We're sitting down today with Mr. Red Shahan. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Sorry about the little bit of delay, but I think we got plenty of time to
you're
knock
good.
out a quick one. So
Jagger's always running late, so he's always delaying everything.
It's always
you know?
my fault.
Yeah.
So playing Vanguard tonight here in Tulsa. What's it feel like to be at the Vanguard tonight?
It's good, man. I dig the rock club vibe. That's what it kind of gives me, is just a good old dirty little rock club. So that's my kind of places for sure.
Yeah. So full disclosure, I've been looking forward to this one for a very long time. I've been scouring your tour dates, looking to see when you're going to come to Oklahoma again. And when I saw this one pop up, I don't know, like a month ago, I immediately texted Red. I'm like, Red Shahan, the Vanguard on whatever today is. Today the 4th? April 3rd. April 3rd. I'm like, we got to make this happen. So
heck yeah.
Thank you for coming on again.
Absolutely, man. It's always good to play Tulsa. You know, it's crazy to see how much this place has grown, you know, in the last 10 years. You know, I guess I don't remember the last time I was here, but it was a long time ago. And other than playing like a couple shows in between there, but it seems like there's a lot of industry that's come in, a lot of old buildings getting that industrial look to them and whatnot. It seems like it's on the up for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And just to preface this a little bit too, I'm going to let Jagger take the reins most of today, because he dives deep when he's a fan of some music, and he's
dive.
Whatever. He's winning deep for this. So
cool.
Just prepare yourself for some deep, hard-hitting questions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I won't go too deep right off the bat. So what's the Red Shahan story? How did everything get started for you?
Oh, man. So there I was, 3 years old, just running around the yard, and I got bit by a rabid dog. And then, I'm just kidding. No.
The rabid dog was also a world-renowned musician, and he just transferred the powers.
That's why I'm a werewolf now.
Yeah.
But, it's not rabies. It's actually just werewolf. But, no, man,
I'm surprised it wasn't a coyote.
No.
Sorry.
No. You got me there. No, I guess I started kind of really messing around with the guitar about my mom got me one when I was 9, and had a few lessons after that, and then the lessons thing wasn't really my thing. It's like I don't really want to learn Mary Had a Little Lamb. I'm 9 years old, I'll just figure this thing out. And so she taught me a couple chords, and then playing with buddies at the house, and really kind of never seemed like something that was possible to be successful at, much less even have a career, And so, when I got to high school, I kind of started writing a little bit, but sports was always kind of on the front runner of things. I never really wanted music to be anything more than just something I did on my own time. And it's something that I enjoyed, like there's no telling how many people that write poetry on their spare time, and you would never know it, but that's kind of what I felt like it was just for me. It's nobody else. And then, I went to college, and all the guys that I rodeoed with in college, after the rodeos, we'd get together and start playing, and just, it was nothing more than that. And then some of them were like, hey man, you should try this. And I was like, I'm doing it. This is exactly what I want to do. And it kind of got a thought in my head of, what if, I went and tried. And so after the whole college thing fizzled out because of my stellar grades, I moved to Lubbock, and then I started working at the Blue Light up there. And that was kind of my first window into things. And I think one of those rodeo guys even showed up while I was working the door. And they're like, he plays, right? And I was like, nah, no. And so it turned into like a Tuesday, and I played a couple songs, and the owners at the time, they really helped me out a lot. And from there, it's just kind of everything is just kind of falling into place, like not strategically on my part, it's just being in front of the right people, meeting the band that I have, and from there, that's kind of what's got me here, really.
Wow.
Nothing that I'm a pretty boring dude, so that's the hard part of telling the story, because there's so many people that like they know what they want to do from day one, and I still have no idea what I want to do, but I enjoy this. And as far as trajectory goes, like whatever happens as long as it's something I'm enjoying. So it's been a lot of fun thus far.
Wow. What event did you rodeo?
I was bulldogger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'd never done that either when I got to college.
Yeah.
So I went to college to play baseball, and that didn't really fit my extracurricular schedule.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was just kind of wandering around, and one of my friends that I went to high school with, he was on the rodeo team. He's like, come out to practice and come throw a couple steers and just see what happens. And the coach was like, hey man, do you want to rodeo? And he's like, do you know how to get down on some steers? I was like, yeah, totally. So I had to learn that really quick.
Yeah.
That's what got me into that whole deal. And it's fun. A lot of my best friends I've met, in college and at Snyder at WTC,
Yeah.
Western Texas College. So yeah, it was a really good time.
Bulldogging is one of those events that I never hear a lot of people. Everybody talks about like team roping and then bull riding and bronc riding. Bulldogging was always one that really, like, whenever I would go to rodeos, I didn't really grow up in a rodeo background, but like we'd go like every once in a while. And that was the one that always interested me the most, bulldogging, just because, I don't know, it just seemed.
Yeah.
I mean, know.
It's just, there's a lot of technique and a lot of people that are really successful at it and that, dive their whole being into that world. But for me, it was just like, it just kind of went along with being a meathead as I was, and still am. So the whole meathead vibe was like, yeah, whatever. I'll jump off a perfectly good horse onto this steer. No big deal.
What'd you play in baseball?
Growing up in a small town, you play everything. So I went there with the intentions of pitching, which most likely would have ended up me playing third or first or something like that. Because, when I got there were some really good ball players. Like I'm talking salty dudes from Dominican and, like I was one of like 3 white dudes on the team.
Wow.
So it was, it was really eye-opening to see the level of talent, especially at a junior college, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this year marks the 10-year anniversary of your first album, Men and Coyotes. So the first song on there that I want to talk about is I love a multitude of songs on that, but the one that's really been catching my ear here lately is Southern Man.
Yeah.
So whenever I go to listen to these songs, like I love pulling up the lyrics and like, cause like I always like sing along, and then half the time I don't even know what I'm saying. I could be like doing some kind of curses or something that I don't even know what I'm saying, like when I'm singing. So I always like pulling up the lyrics when I'm really diving into a song. And the basis of this song is, and this is my main question, what it boils down to. Is it about a boyfriend that got told to go to hell?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. But specifically, I guess the line is, honey, you took the words right out of my mouth. Monday I'm leaving and I'm headed south. So I extrapolated as like, go to hell. I was like, well, I'm going to go south.
I was already headed there.
Yeah, I was already headed there.
Yeah.
So when you sat down to write that song, is really any song, do you usually have like an experience that you've had or someone else's experience that you sit down and write about?
Yes to both. It's easy to pull from experiences that I've had or other people's experiences that they've had, and kind of put those into a song. That one personally, like, again, it's been 10 years, so trying to remember a lot of that stuff too, when it was coming to me at the time, was either firsthand or secondhand type stuff. But yeah, it's definitely one of those, finger in the air, like, I was already going to hell anyway.
It's so catchy too. It's a great song.
Yeah, thanks.
So another song on that one, Black Veins. So I should say Black Veins Part 1.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to get a Black Veins Part 2?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
So I'll say it here. I think this is the second ever podcast I've ever done. But we're planning on doing either a live version of Men and Coyotes for the 10-year deal.
Oh, perfect.
And I've kind of kicked around the idea of, as well as, doing all those songs live, putting in a Black Veins Part 2, just as hey, people have been asking for this for 10 years.
I was going to say, sure, I was going to preface that with, I'm sure you get this asked all the time.
Yeah. And I think that'd be a good time to maybe toss it in there. So, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So can you go through it and explain Black Veins Part 1?
See, you ask hard questions like the lyrics that I wrote that I should know, but really, like, again, like trying to go back to that time in my life, like it was really more of a lot of revolting, a lot of rebellious stuff that was, going on in my life, and there's a couple lines in there.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Just want to take a second to tell you about Double B Hat Company. They're a sponsor of this podcast, and they have some pretty sick hats too. A great thing about Double B is if you go check out their stuff, one thing you're going to see is some of your favorite artists wear Double B hats, and including your favorite podcasters. Rhett and I are sporting the Double B hats thanks to our friends at Double B Hat Company. So thank you again to Double B for sponsoring this podcast, and go get yourself a hat. Okay, so business ain't been good since some winners all left mad. Ain't no medicine gonna help anymore. So what I took from it is basically things have gotten bad, like can't really pay for the medicine anymore for mom who is down on her health, and basically mom ain't been cooking. Pa said she ain't leaving bed. So then the narrator leaves to go to New Orleans for work, and then you said I'm going to send some money home. Then it switches to the chorus, which is also the end of the song. Black veins, white face. So what I took from it is they left Kentucky to go down to New Orleans, and they ended up selling what I'm assuming is drugs. Yeah. Assuming heroin. Yeah. That'll be great for our YouTube algorithm, mentioning drugs and heroin. So that's what I'm taking from it. Yeah. Is that accurate?
That is right on.
Okay.
You're probably the first person that's ever got that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get it, black veins, like black tar heroin. Yeah. So a lot of people take it as like, like being a soulful, like, like Black Roots or whatever because of the music and whatnot, but it's literally about heroin. Yeah.
Okay.
So, doing what you can, like just a good old backwoods redneck Southern story of people doing what they can to, take care of people at home.
Yeah. So I guess another question I have is, in the first verse, is the business actually the business of selling? It just went bad because...
No, it's more about the farming.
Okay. 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 I was inferring too much there. Yeah. Okay. Thank God I'm getting some answers. Rhett, do you have any questions?
No, please continue. That's why The Watering Hole is the best podcast, because we dive in deep. It's not your basic... What's your favorite...
I want to know about you guys. Where are y'all from?
So the podcast is based out of Stillwater. We're both originally from Northeast Oklahoma.
Oh.
Okay.
I know we're like... I guess it wouldn't be considered Northeast, like Tallahena and... it's the Kiamichis, they say it, Kiamichi Mountains.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Charlie Shafter, the guy that is opening tonight, he had his bachelor party out there at Billy Creek, and we went out there camping and all that stuff. So it was a good time. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
I mean, like gorgeous. Yeah. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah. It's specifically we're like extreme northeast. So you know where Tahlequah is at? Yeah. So we're about 30 minutes north of Tahlequah. Okay. Right, it's just right along the Illinois River.
Yeah, I did Medicine Stone a couple of times.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. So probably 15 minutes from specifically.
Cool.
There.
That's beautiful up there too.
Yeah, it's all Ozark Mountain foothills.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've probably said this a couple times on the podcast too. That's really cool about Oklahoma is like you have like that part of the state, which is all mountains and hills and hollers. And then you go to where we like Stillwater and it's flat.
Yeah.
Like not hardly a lot of trees, and the farther west you go, it just gets warm.
That's kind of how, Texas the same way, like getting Panhandle. It's like they say you can stand on a dime and see 1,000 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I think I find the beauty in all of landscapes. It's like you spend enough time out there. I lived south of Lubbock in New Home. You know where New Home is?
I do not.
It's just it's kind of a booming town now, but it used to be just a little nothing, kind of what I'm used to. And you get out there, especially in those farming, the farming country, like, I mean, it's nothing but dirt and and cotton half the year, and then I mean you got to kind of find the beauty in it to stay in it for sure.
Now let me ask you this: we've been wanting to get to Lubbock for basically since we started the podcast. It's kind of one of those hot spots we want to hit, and we're trying to get down there for Cotton Fest this summer. If we get down there in Lubbock, what is there maybe a couple things that we need to do while we're in Lubbock, like a place we need to eat or something we need to see? Or...
Yeah. Got to go to Blue Light, for late night stuff. Always recommend that. As far as eating, there's a place called Mari Tierra. It's a little Mexican joint. I can't remember what street it's on. There used to be a really good Thai place, but it closed down. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that's around.
When I've asked this question before, we get roses thrown out there. Quite a bit.
I mean, roses.
Is that okay? See, you're the first person that hasn't been like, oh, you got to go to roses.
Yeah, I mean, no, roses. That's if you're gonna buy groceries, and we're comparing that. I mean, that's like the Walmart of Mexican food.
Well, I looked it up. It kind of looks like Tex-Mex.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's fantastic. You can get everything you need there, but it's a chain. If I'm gonna send you places, like it's gonna be deep dive, water and hole type stuff. So
perfect. Let's go.
I'll think of it when we get off this. It'll all come to me. Like, I mean, I can't even remember my own songs, so much less restaurants in Lubbock. So,
who are you listening to right now? Is there somebody you're listening to that you think should be getting a little more attention than they are?
Oh man, have you guys ever heard of Rattlesnake Milk?
No.
It's another band that I know from Lubbock, and I think they got their start in Lubbock, but I've known them for a long time, and they're based out of Austin now, and it's kind of like this, kind of darker rockabilly, rock and roll, like it's its own thing, and super sweet guys. We had them at our little one-day fest in Austin at the Armadillo Den.
Okay.
And man, they killed it, and they've got the attention of people like Leon Bridges. He came out and watched the show, and they're doing some really, really cool stuff. So at the top of my brain, Rattlesnake Milk. Okay. And then obviously the shitheads, Drop Tines.
Oh yeah. We've had them on,
yeah. I love them guys too, but they're shitheads. That's my kind of people for sure.
That has to probably be one of the most interesting podcasts we've done too. Like,
oh yeah, it was crazy. it was like you never know what they're gonna say.
Oh yeah,
it's just
Well, their bass player used to play bass for the Damn Quails.
Yeah.
And we know Brian White pretty well, so we have to discuss about Brian White a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some wild stories there.
Now you've came up in conversation several times, but most recently we had Steve Rice from No Justice on.
Yeah. And
that episode is premiering right now, actually, at 6:30. But yeah, we talked about you and that. So do you guys have some, I mean, you guys go way back, or is it kind of...
Yeah, a long time ago, man. I haven't thought about Steve in a long time. That's definitely my bad. But yeah, I couldn't tell you. I mean, a lot of that stuff's pretty vague, I mean, like the memories, they get a little foggy. But
Austin too, last week. We were here.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, go ahead.
We talked to Austin Meade last week. A week ago today.
Yeah.
And he gave us a story after the podcast, actually, about you. And he said he was recording his first album with Josh Serrato, who was.
Yeah.
And he needed like some vocals in the background on a song.
Yeah.
And I guess Josh was like, that guy right over there can do it. And you were outside grilling steaks.
Oh, yeah. I was in my element, man.
Yeah,
I was out there doing my thing.
It was called Call Me Yours Again.
Yeah. So, and they were like, we need like this sexy falsetto part. And I was like, I'm like, I'm your guy. That's saying it like you'll learn about me. Is like, if somebody asks, like, can you do something? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then no idea what I'm doing. But I'll just go for it. But yeah, no, it was, I don't know if he told you about that place, but Jacobs Crawley, one of the guys that I used to college rodeo with, we grew up down the road from each other, Stephenville and Bluffdale, and he's a really successful bronc rider, and so he was like the first one out of all of us to have a significant amount of success. So what do you do when you've got a bunch of really good buddies? Like, you buy 10 acres and you put 4 trailer houses on it. Duh. And so we all lived there, 10 or 15 of us half rodeo guys, half musicians, and Josh had that studio in one of the
Yeah.
trailer houses, and man, like you want to talk about some foggy memories. Man, we call it the compound. The compound days were something else.
You had a lot of steaks, I'm sure.
Well, I wouldn't call them steaks. I mean, it was like dollar meat, from where we could find it. But yeah, it was. See, we got it down. Like if you buy, basically like back then the sirloin packages were cheap, and it was like choice beef, and so you get sirloin packages, and then you just get some cheap vegetables, and then you put that on a shish kebab, and then you'd make like 20 of those and stretch out that meat. You can feed all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were living high on the hog back then, man. You got a good steak shish kebab, and then you go record some falsetto vocals.
Yeah.
I got this.
You were just the stock backup guy.
Yeah, I'm just the guy with the apron. And
Are there any other any other instances like that you could think of that you're just the random backup vocals on?
Not really random backup vocals, because like most people, like you don't want me singing on your stuff. Like if it comes harmony stuff, like no way, you don't want me on that. Like that's for talented people. That's where I just I'll grill the burgers, man. Y'all do all the hard stuff. Like you leave me out of that.
What's your go-to grill dinner now? Like,
Man,
still a steak?
So I've got 3 kids, which my son, who is just a straight heathen animal, and
He comes by it honest, I hear.
yeah. I mean, like, what's crazy is I've got 2 girls and a boy, and when you have girls, everybody's like, you're gonna get what you deserve, man. Like that's happening. And then we had my son, and then it's like, oh no, that's what I deserve. This psycho is what I've deserved all these years. And so most of his diet is fruits, vegetables, avocado, and a ton of meat. And so I'll make like a tri-tip, do that like a kind of like a reverse sear, I guess you could say, like just get it to temperature and then slap it on the grill, and it stretches out a long ways. So I can cut that up and shove that down his mouth and then kick him out the door. So that's kind of the go-to now, or your typical steaks and whatever. Yeah.
What is your family's favorite song of yours, if I said that right?
Man, my kids, they love Javelina. Yeah, and there's some, they're in softball now. My girls are, and my middle child, both of our kids, they have walk-up songs, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and both of my kids' walk-up song is "We Ready." Remember "We Ready" by Archie? And then some kids on the other teams, they have Javelina as their walk-up songs. Luckily, my kids, they're cool enough already. They're like, we're not going to put our dad's songs as a walk-up song. But
I think it's cool that the other kids are like, that's what I'm going to put as my.
Oh yeah, you got to see my wife's face whenever she hears it playing, and she's like, oh my god, who would do this?
What's her favorite song of yours?
She kind of likes the obscure ones, like the darker. See, there you go, asking me hard questions. Songs that I'm supposed to remember. What's her favorite song? Oh, Drag You Down.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's a pretty big fan of that record, Men and Coyotes.
Yeah.
And we're going to record another record this year on top of the 10-year deal. And I'm not going to say like we're intentionally going to go back to that world, but it's the writing is kind of all circled back in a way like that, and so it's fun to do things like Loose Funky Texas Junkie.
Yeah. Like
that's just fun, but as far as like kind of getting back to the roots, like that's what this next record will be like,
Awesome.
Yeah, it'll be I don't really know how else to describe it, but just kind of taking it back home.
Can I take a wild guess at what the title of the next record's going to be?
Sure.
Lemon Pepper?
No.
Ah, damn.
But
what's the reference then?
So we started that a long time ago. We have a playlist on Spotify, and that goes back to all the way to the compound days. Like Lemon Pepper was like, I think one of the trailer houses that he put on the place had a thing of lemon pepper, and it was like, well, we can't afford anything else, so like lemon pepper shish kebabs, here you go. And then from there it just kind of became like this, like, you don't know about lemon pepper? And then there's really no meaning behind it other than, like this lemon pepper underground club. And like nobody knows what it's about. It's like, what does it mean? I don't know what it means, but lemon pepper,
I was wondering because like I saw the Spotify playlist, and then like on your social media, I think it like the bio, at least I think on your Facebook, is just Cal Caps lemon pepper. And I'm like, is this like a teaser for like the next album, or like what's the deal here?
No, it's just one of the things I throw out there just to ask questions, and then has really no meaning at all.
Perfect.
But we do
now
have some,
people know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we have some lemon pepper merch. Maybe there's some meaning, maybe there's not. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
that's only for the compound goers to know.
yeah, they'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Josh Serrato specifically knows about lemon pepper. Because one time, I'll tell this story just because I love Josh, but I had a handful of lemon pepper. I was like, have you smelled this lemon pepper? He's like, no. He went down to sniff it, and I went like that. I did not intend for it to go in his eyes, but it all got in his eyes. So Josh is now a forever hater of lemon pepper. So you won't ever see Josh ordering lemon pepper wings, ever.
Another question I had, like the many other questions that I have on this list right here that I keep scrolling through. 7013 Records.
Mm-hmm.
What's the reference with the record company? I'm assuming it's your personal.
No, that's actually really good friends of mine. That's Paw Paw, my drummer.
Okay.
Grant Jackson, Wilburn, and Graylin Smith, and Bethany Smith. They used to have the original Magnolia, and they have the new Magnolia Motor Lounge in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And basically, when I was kind of like right after I'd moved out of the compound, I was playing around Fort Worth a little bit after the whole Six Market Boulevard thing kind of dissolved. And then Matthew was like, Paw Paw was like, hey, man, like if you need a drummer, I'll step in. It all kind of filed in, and they're like, you want to do a full record? And I was like, sure, but I don't have any money, and they're like, no, we got you. So 7013 was an address that they used for that, basically a record label.
Yeah.
And that's kind of literally how all this
Yeah.
kind of started becoming like a real thing,
Yeah.
Because of them helping me out in the beginning. So yeah, it's a great deal. They've done a lot of really good stuff for people. So
Yeah. That's awesome. And I always hear like a lot of like the small records that usually have some kind of like really cool niche reference, like an address. Or,
Yeah.
I think addresses are a big one.
mm-hmm.
There's a couple other smaller references.
Yeah, 7013 Sandalwood Lane is where I would spend a lot of my foggy nights in Fort Worth. So that's where, where they'd kind of called home base for a while. And I did a lot of couch surfing, man. Like I'm pretty good at sleeping on couches back in the day. So
Yeah. The Spanish in Javelina. What's the I could just look it up, but
Yeah.
I gotta ask the man himself.
Hueles como porrando.
Yes.
Yeah, you smell like a pig.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's one other one.
Tambio mi cuchillo.
Yes.
I'll give you my knife.
Now I know.
Yeah.
I can scratch that itch now.
Yeah.
So, what kind of things do you have coming up in the next couple months? Like shows, any announcements that you want people to know about, stuff like that?
Man, being my second podcast, like I'm I wouldn't say reclusive, but I don't know, I'm not much of a out there public guy. My management really wants me to be a lot more out there, which that's why we're doing this, is because like I need to put my thing out there. It can't just be this deal that I, just keep to myself. Like I've kind of what we talked about earlier it's like if this is actually going to be a thing, like I feel this year and next year is going to be really kind of dedicated to making sense of what I'm doing, and kind of bringing everything tighter, not only with, making music and the business side of things, but also touring. We'd like to, we kind of stretched out a 10-hour radius around Fort Worth so that we could hone in back on the quote unquote home crowd, So being able to do that is the first step. As far as announcements or anything, like, again, I'm a pretty boring dude, so like we're not having any more kids. I know that. So scientifically and medically that's been taken care of. So other than that, man, like it's all grind at home, and me and my wife, with the kids, like we're really fortunate to be able to spend so much time with them. So outside of the business and music side of things, like really that's just my whole life is my wife and kids. So it's hard to really imagine anything else outside of that. So
that was one thing I was going to mention. Like, it seems like you kind of fly under the radar, like on purpose, because it's like you're kind of a hard guy to track down. Like, I track down people all the time for the podcast, but you've kind of stayed away for the last couple of years we've been hunting for you. So.
Yeah, I mean it's not by design. It's really just more. I couldn't really put a finger on it, but I just like when you're so boring as a human, like it's like you really don't really want to know me, but I need to be better about it for sure, because like there's people that really want to know like what color underwear I have on, or you know what I mean? Like there's plenty
you
of
took
weirdos.
My last question.
Yeah, see, I knew it. So yeah, I mean, I get it. It's we're in a day and age now where people get a lot of their information from podcasts, and getting to know people, which, like I watched a few podcasts with my wife, and it's like, this is cool. Like this is a way to kind of actually get to know these people, and it puts a whole new perspective on the people that what you think they're like. And then you see a podcast and it's like, oh, well, this is a normal ass dude. Like, that works,
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on again.
Yeah.
One final quick question, and this is for all the fans. What is your favorite song of your own?
Of all time?
Of all time.
Like to play live, or just as it sits on the record?
As it sits on the record and to play live.
And play live? Well, the ones that I think are really cool, like I'll look at my wife during the show and I'm like, you see that? And she's like, So it's hard to tell, because like a lot of my opinions now are 50-50. My wife, owns half that real estate, so I would say probably Men and Coyotes, just because like that one really just, for whatever reason, set the tone for us and what we're doing and where we are now. And everywhere we go, that people, a couple people that know it, like you can see people singing it and all that stuff. So the crowd interaction part of that is always going to be there, and that's always the coolest part for me, is that you can get people howling at the top of their lungs, and then they try the falsetto part, and it's like, it's like that'll always be cool to me for sure.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
We're looking forward to watching you tonight.
Yeah,
so.
let's have some foggy fun times. Huh?
Yeah, perfect.
Next time you're back in Oklahoma, we got to do it again.
Yeah,
it's been a blast.
I got plenty more questions
this
on this.
This is like
thing
good practice, like, because then I go home and I have like better diction with my wife. It's like I can start remembering stories.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I love it.
Perfect. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yep.